To watch these important lessons, subscribe to DP Education's YouTube channel right now. Click on the bell icon to stay updated on the latest lessons. Sri Lanka's largest free online school, DP Education.
So my dear children, in the earlier chapter we discussed several MCQ type questions regarding the artificial environment and the green concept lesson. So here within this chapter we'll be discussing and we'll be focusing about essay type questions, right? So let's observe the first essay type question given here. So here you have to put a cross or else a tick for the statements. Distance of a food traveled producer to consumer is food mile. So my dear children, the distance traveled from producer to consumer is called the food mile. That is correct. No problem. Fresh water utilized in the production of goods is water mile. Correct. Fresh water utilized in the production of a good, right, is the water mile. That is correct. No problem. Amount of carbon dioxide released affects carbon footprint. The amount of carbon dioxide released affects the carbon footprint. Once again, correct. Right? Actually, carbon footprint means the amount of carbon dioxide released, right, by a certain individual or by a certain complex or any kind of a building or some kind of a construction. So, the amount of carbon dioxide which is being released is going to affect, right, the carbon footprint. So, it is correct. Next one. Turmeric is a natural disinfectant. Turmeric is a natural disinfectant. Correct. No problem. Even we discuss these things when we are discussing the lesson part, right? Next one. Lead is not a heavy metal. My dear children, that is incorrect. Lead is a heavy metal. Lead and mercury are good examples for heavy metals. Actually, electronic waste, e-waste, mainly going to release lead to the environment. So therefore, because of the electronic waste, okay, lead is added to the environment, which is going to be a heavy metal. Okay, so lead is a heavy metal. That is in the statement which is given here is incorrect, because here they are saying that lead is not a heavy metal. So it is incorrect. Ransahal contains vitamin B. Once again incorrect. It contains vitamin A, right? It contains vitamin A. Next one. Mixed crop cultivation increases the yield. Mixed crop cultivation, once again correct, right? Mixed crop cultivation definitely going to increase, right? Increase the yield. Land management will minimize disasters. Correct, no problem. Land management, proper land management will minimize the disasters. Correct. Following green concept, enhance biodiversity in earth. Of course, my dear children, it is correct, because like minimizing the usage of chemical fertilizer is going to enhance the biodiversity in soil. So therefore, biodiversity of the earth is getting enhanced because of following the green concept. Next one. K2 housing project saves energy worth of 60,000 USD annually. Incorrect. It is not the K2 housing project, right? So therefore, it is incorrect. Next one. Water cannot be used to generate hydropower electricity. That is correct. No problem. We can't use a water or else a tank to generate hydropower electricity, because water is retained over there, right? So we can't use a tank to generate hydropower electricity. Next one. German parliamentary building is also called as bird's nest. Incorrect. The Beijing National Sports Stadium is the one which is referred as the bird's nest. So these are the answers for the second question, my dear children. Right. Now let's head on to see the third type. So here you need to write down the correct answers. Explain the term green concept. So what is green concept? Very simple, my dear children. Following measures to minimize environment pollution, right? So following measures to minimize environment pollution by minimizing entry of greenhouse gases to the environment. Right. So this is what do you mean by green concept in simple. Okay. Following measures to minimize environment pollution by minimizing entry of greenhouse gases, right? By minimizing the entry of greenhouse gases to the environment. So here we are going to minimize the entry of greenhouse gases to the environment. So by that way, we are going to minimize the environment pollution. Okay, we are going to minimize the environment pollution. This is what does the green concept is going to follow. Right, write 3 examples where green concept is used. 3 examples where green concept is used. In Sri Lanka, we can observe green concept, my dear children, in a tank well. Then number 2, K2 housing project. Right, K2 housing project. Then number 3, German. So number 3 is German Parliament. Right. So in the German Parliament, we can observe the green concept, my dear children. So these are the 3 examples where we can find the green concept. Okay. Then the next one. Mention 2 measures which are used in German Parliament building to follow green concept. So German parliamentary building. What are the 2 measures? Number 1, electricity is generated by renewable energy. Next one, 80% of energy produced in the building itself right? So electricity is generated by renewable energy sources, right? Electricity is produced by renewable energy sources. And my dear children, other thing is that 80% of energy produced in the building itself, 80% of the energy is being produced within the building itself, right? 2 measures. Next one, what is called as organic farming? What is called as organic farming? In organic farming, my dear children, we are enhancing the activity of soil organisms, and we are going to improve the quality of soil by using organic fertilizer. Okay, right. So we can write down the answer. Improving quality of soil by increasing activity of soil organisms through organic fertilizer. So here what is called as organic farming? Improving quality of soil by increasing activity of soil organisms through organic fertilizer, right? So not only the activity of soil organisms, but also the also enhancing the life cycles of organisms, soil organisms also. Okay, right. Then we'll move on to see the next question. Write 5 harms of using chemical fertilizer. 5 harms of using chemical fertilizer. Number 1, adding heavy metals to soil. Adding heavy metals to soil. Number 2, destroy soil organisms. Destroy soil organisms. Then upon destroying soil organisms, soil will get infertile. Soil will get infertile. Then economical loss. Economic losses, right? Economic losses. Then number 5, my dear children, will cause some diseases. Will cause some diseases. Examples: chronic kidney disease, right? So my dear children, 5 harms. Adding heavy metals to soil, okay? Because of the chemicals, heavy metals will be added to the soil because of the chemicals. Then destroy soil organisms. It will destroy soil organisms. Then soil will get infertile. Not only that, economic losses can occur. And the other thing is, will cause some diseases like chronic kidney disease. Okay, harms of using chemical fertilizer, right? Now let's head on to see the next question. Write 5 benefits of using organic fertilizer than using chemical fertilizer. Right, number 1, increase the activities of increase the activity of soil organisms. Right? Increase the activity of soil organisms. Number 2, make the soil fertile. Make the soil fertile. Number 3, environment pollution is less. Environment pollution is less. Right? Environment pollution is less. Number 4, my dear children, enhance the harvest. Right? Enhance the harvest. Number 5, enhance the quality of food. Enhance the quality of food. Right. So these are the benefits of using organic fertilizer. So it increases the activity of soil organisms. Because of increasing activity of soil organisms, the soil is getting fertile. Then environment pollution is going to be very less. Then enhance the harvest. It will enhance the harvest. It will increase the harvest. Day by day, we can increase the harvest. Then it will enhance the quality of food. Right? That means, my dear children, when consuming these, when consuming these crops which are grown by using organic fertilizer, will increase our health. Okay. Right. So these are the benefits of using organic fertilizer. Next one. Write 5 traditional agricultural practices which were used by ancient people. 5 traditional agricultural practices. Right. Number 1. Using eco-friendly fertilizer. Right? Using eco-friendly fertilizer. Number 2, using biopesticides. Right? Using biopesticides. Number 3, using lamp light to destroy insects. Using lamp light to destroy insects. Right? Number 4, using Diaholmana to chase to chase birds. To chase birds. Number 5, using traditional pest control methods. Example, Chemkrama. Right. So, using eco-friendly fertilizer. Right? Using eco-friendly fertilizer. Right? Then, my dear children, using biopesticides. Then, using lamplight to destroy insects. During the night, using lamplight to destroy insects. Then, using deer holman to chase birds in paddy fields. Right? Near to Wakkada, we prepare this deer holman structure to chase birds. The next one, number 5, using traditional pest control methods like Chemkrama. Okay? Right. So, using traditional pest control methods. Example given like Chemkrama. Right? Okay. So, these are the 5 traditional agricultural practices used by the ancient people. Okay? Right, my dear children. Then the next question. Name the main parts of a tank. You have to name the main parts of a tank. That means in a weber. Okay. Number 1, tank bund. Number 2, Bisokotuwa. Number 3, Ralapanawa. Number 4, Sluice gate. Number 5, Väv Ismatta. Okay, Väv Ismatta. So, my dear children, what is this Väv Ismatta? This is also the one which is referred as the head wall. Okay, head wall. Okay, head wall is the one which is referred as the Väv Ismatta, which is acting as the catchment area for a tank. So, these are the main parts that we can observe in a tank. Right. So, tank bund, Bisokotuwa, Ralapanawa, sluice gate and Väv Ismatta, which is called as the head wall. Right. Then the next question. Explain 2 practices that can be followed to manage the amount of water needed for agriculture. Explain 2 practices that can be followed to manage the amount of water needed for agriculture. Right. Number 1, using drip irrigation. Right? Using drip irrigation. So, in drip irrigation, my dear children, here small pipes are connected, or pipes which are connected with emitters. Right? Small structures, small holes, right? Small holes or small structures are going to emit water, right, in the drop stage to the root system. So in here, right, less amount of water is being utilized. So we can write like this: pipes with emitters will provide droplets of water directly to the root system. Right? So using drip irrigation in here, my dear children, pipes with emitters will provide droplets of water directly to the root system. Number 2, it's very simple. The second one, collecting rainwater. Right? Collecting rainwater. Small or else tanks. Or else we'll mention as smaller tanks. Smaller tanks can be used to collect rainwater which can be used in agriculture. Right. So using drip irrigation here, pipes with emitters will provide droplets of water directly to the root system. Okay. Then the next one would be, my dear children, collecting rainwater. So smaller tanks can be used to collect rainwater which can be used in agriculture. Okay. Right then. This is the answer for question number 9 then. And the next question number 10. Write 5 steps used in proper land management. 5 steps in proper land management. Okay. Number 1, making proper soil structure. Making proper soil structure. Number 2, adding fertilizer to fertile the soil. Right, to fertile the soil. Number 3, having a good supply of water. Having a good supply of water. Next one, number 4, having a good drainage system. Then, my dear children, finally, planting a suitable crop. Right. So, making proper soil structure, adding fertilizer to fertile the soil, having a good supply of water, having a good drainage system, planting a proper crop for the soil. So these are some steps or 5 steps that we can follow in proper land management, my dear children. Okay, right. Then the next question number 11. Write 5 advantages of sustainable use of agricultural lands. 5 advantages of using agricultural lands or managing these agricultural lands. So we'll write down. Number 1, increase the harvest. Increase the harvest. Number 2, minimize disasters. Minimize disasters. Number 3, economic benefits. Right? Because when increasing the harvest, you can sell it for more people. That means we can get economic benefits. Okay. Next one. Less environment pollution. Next one, number 5. Increase the quality of food. So my dear children, 5 advantages of sustainable use of agricultural lands. Increase the harvest, minimize the disasters, economic benefits, less environment pollution, then increase the quality of food. Okay, right then. The next question. Explain given concepts in brief. Mixed crop cultivation. So mixed crop cultivation means planting several crops with a main crop, okay, in the same land. So we can write planting several crops with a main crop. In the same land, right? In the same land. So planting several crops with a main crop in the same land is called mixed crop cultivation. Mixed crop cultivation. Next one. So B, crop rotation. So here planting different types of plants from season to a season. Right. So crop rotation means, my dear children, in simple, planting different types of plants from season to a season. Okay. Different types of plants from one season to another season. This is what do you mean by crop rotation in simple, right? Okay. Next one. Using genetically modified crops. So here, using crops that are modified genetically using gene technology to provide a better harvest. To provide a better harvest. Right. So genetically modified crops, using crops that are modified genetically, using gene technology to provide a better harvest. That is what do you mean by genetically modified crops, my dear children. Okay. Right. Then the next one. Question number 13. Explain what is post-harvest technology, right? Post-harvest technology. Very simple, my dear children. Packing, storing, plucking the harvest soon as so here packing, storing, plucking the harvest soon as possible after maturation. Right. So after maturation, soon as possible after maturation, right? What do you have to do? Packing, storing and plucking the harvest. Okay. This is what do you mean by the post-harvest technology. Right, my dear children. Then we are moving on to the next question. Question number 14. Mention 5 benefits of using good post-harvest technology. 5 benefits of having good post-harvest technology. Number 1. Increase the quality of harvest. Increase the quality of harvest. Number 2, increase the lifetime of harvest, right? Increase the lifetime of harvest. That means you know that we can preserve food items more than the expected time period. Next one, number 3, economic benefits, right? Number 4, my dear children, ease of transportation. Ease of transportation. Number 5, we can write ability to consume quality foods. Right? Okay, so increase the quality of the harvest, increase the lifetime of the harvest, then economic benefits, then ease of transportation, then ability to consume quality food. These are the advantages or benefits of using good post-harvest technology. Right then, next question. Mention the types of products which use chemicals more often. Mention the types of products, okay, types of products which use chemicals more often. So we'll write down 3, my dear children. Number 1, cosmetics. Then number 2, cleaning materials. Number 3, prepared food, or else we'll mention as pre-cooked food. Right, pre-cooked food. So cosmetics, clean materials, pre-cooked food. These are the types of products which use chemicals more often. So there are even more products rather than this, but they are not mentioned to write. They have not mentioned to write down a specific number now. So I have written down 3. Right. So cosmetics, clean materials, and pre-cooked food. These things use chemicals more often. Okay. Right. Then the next question. Write 5 adverse effects of using chemically made goods. 5 adverse effects of using chemically made goods. Number 1. Causing environment pollution. Right? Causing environment pollution. Number 2, will infertile the soil. Right? Will infertile the soil. Not only that, my dear children, when using these chemicals, right? When using these chemicals, definitely when they are being added to the external environment, the heavy metals which contain within these things will get collected to water sources and the groundwater will get polluted. Okay, so next one, groundwater. Groundwater will get polluted, right? Groundwater will get polluted. Groundwater will get polluted. Number 4, causing diseases. Then number 5, addiction to chemically made goods. Example, junk food. Right. So causing environment pollution, that's the main effect of using chemical made goods. Then will infertile the soil. When these substances will come in contact with the soil, because of having different kinds of chemical substances, there is a possibility that the soil organisms will die. So therefore, it will infertile the soil. Next one, groundwater will get polluted. So because of accumulation of heavy metals to the groundwater definitely will get polluted. Then next one, number 4, causing diseases, right? Causing diseases like CKD. Next one, addiction to chemically made goods. So next one would be the addiction to chemically made food. For an example, junk food. You know that for the junk food, we add several synthetically made substances like MSG, different kinds of sauces and so on. So you know that people would love to eat this because it is going to provide a certain addiction for these food types. That's the main reason. Okay, right, my dear children. Then let's move on to see the next question. Question number 17. Write 3 instances where we could use natural substitute instead of chemical substances. Right? 3 instances where we could use natural substitutes instead of chemical substances. Okay. So number 1, turmeric to destroy microbes, or in simple we'll mention as germs. Right? Turmeric to destroy germs. Number 2, godapara seed right? Godapara seed extract as a substitute to shampoo. Number 3, margosa extract as pesticide. Right. So turmeric to destroy germs. Godapara seed extract as a substitute to shampoo. Margosa extracts as pesticide. So these are examples, my dear children, where we can use natural substitutes instead of chemical substances, right? Then the question number 18. Write 5 measures which can be followed in building constructions according to green concept. Right, 5 measures which can be followed in building constructions according to the green concept. So we'll write down the answers. Number 1, generating energy using renewable, right? Generating energy using renewable energy sources. Next one, number 2, having a good plant cover. Having a good plant cover. Number 3, having good ventilation. Having good ventilation. Next one, exposing to natural light. Exposing to natural light. Right? Exposing to natural light. Number 5, using natural methods to absorb heat. Right? Using natural methods to absorb heat. So generating energy using renewable energy sources. Having a good plant cover. Then having good ventilation. Exposing to natural light. Using natural methods to absorb heat. So these are the steps. Okay, these are the measures that we can follow in order to make a building that going to follow the green concept model, my dear children. Right. Then the next question. Question number 19. Write 3 benefits of following green concept for constructions. 3 benefits of following green concept for constructions. Number 1. My dear children, in each and every place we can write the less environment pollution. Okay, then less emission of greenhouse gases, then less emission of we can write less emission of greenhouse gases, and also less emission of carbon dioxide gas, less environment pollution. All of these things are okay for each and every place where we are going to use the green concept model. Okay, so we can write as benefits less environment pollution, less entry of greenhouse gases, right? less entry of greenhouse gases. Next one, number 3, it will enhance the beauty. Not only the beauty, but biodiversity as well. Right. So 3 benefits of following green concept. Number 1 given, less environment pollution. Then less entry of greenhouse gases. Next one, enhance the beauty and biodiversity. Okay, right. So these are the benefits of following green concept for constructions of buildings. Next one, explain what is green transportation. Very simple, my dear children. Minimizing the emission of greenhouse gases and other effluents during the transportation process, right? So minimizing the entry of greenhouse gases to the environment right? Minimizing the entry of greenhouse gases to the environment during transportation. This is what do you mean by the green transportation, my dear children. Okay, the green transportation. So minimizing the entry of greenhouse gases to the environment during transportation. This is green transportation. Then the next question. Mention 2 greenhouse gases that will emit during combustion of fuel. Very simple, my dear children. Number 1, carbon dioxide. CO2. Then nitrogen dioxide. NO2. So carbon dioxide gas and nitrogen dioxide gas, CO2 and NO2. Explain how greenhouse gases affects the environment. So we have to explain. So first of all, greenhouse gases is going to absorb more amount of solar radiation. So therefore, the environment, the average temperature in the environment is going to increase. Because of that, global warming or the global temperature will increase, creating certain climatic changes. Okay, so we can write the answer. Greenhouse gases absorb more solar radiation greenhouse gases absorb more solar radiation. Therefore, global warming will increase. Global warming will increase, creating climate changes. Right? So greenhouse gases absorb more solar radiation. Solar radiation means the ultraviolet rays and other kinds of radiations. Okay? So greenhouse gases absorb more solar radiation. Therefore, global warming will increase, creating climate changes. Right? Okay, so let's head on to see the next question then. What are the steps that can be followed during green transportation? The steps that can be followed during green transportation. I'll write two different areas, two different examples. Okay, number one, minimizing the use of individual. So minimizing the use of individual, right? Minimizing the use of individual vehicles, right? Minimizing the use of individual vehicles. Next one, number two, using waterways. Right? Using waterways. Like we can use waterways, I mean like we can use rivers and streams for our transportation media, as our transportation media. Okay, so as they have not mentioned the number, so I have written down 2. Okay, so minimizing the use of individual vehicles, then using waterways are some steps that we can follow during green transportation. Right, then the question number 24. Write 5 bad effects of greenhouse gases. So you have write down 5 bad effects of greenhouse gases. So we'll write down number 1. Ozone layer depletion. Right? Ozone layer depletion. This is the main effect which can be observed by the effect of greenhouse gases, my dear children. Then number 2, increase in global temperature. Right? Increasing global temperature. Number 3, due to increase in global temperature, my dear children, polar ice caps will dissolve in seawater. Polar ice caps will dissolve in seawater. Right? Polar ice caps will dissolve in seawater, increasing ocean water level. Ocean water level. So polar ice caps will dissolve in seawater, increasing ocean water level. Then number 4, small islands small islands will get submerged with water. Small islands will get submerged with water. Then, my dear children, number 5, loss of lives. Loss of lives. Okay, so these are bad effects of greenhouse gases. Ozone layer depletion, increase in global temperature, polar ice caps will dissolve in seawater, increasing ocean water level. Then small islands will get submerged with water, and also upon these things, my dear children, definitely they are going to be loss of lives. So these are the answers for the 24th question. Next one. Explain the given terms. Food mile, carbon footprint, water footprint. Food mile. First of all, the food mile. The distance of a certain food right? The distance of a certain food traveled from producer to consumer. Right? The distance of a certain food traveled from producer to consumer. This is called as the food mile. Next one, carbon footprint. The amount of carbon dioxide. The amount of carbon dioxide gas released by a certain individual in a given time period. Right. So the amount of carbon dioxide gas released by a certain individual in a given time period is called as the carbon footprint. This is the carbon footprint. And the next one, water footprint. The amount of water, the amount of fresh water used by a certain the amount of fresh water used by a certain product or a service. The amount of fresh water used by a certain product or a service is called as the water footprint of that service or the product. Okay. So, food mile, the distance of a certain food traveled from producer to consumer. Carbon footprint, the amount of carbon dioxide gas released by a certain individual in a given time period. Next one, water footprint. The amount of fresh water used by a certain product or a service. Okay. So this is the water footprint, carbon footprint and the food mile. Okay. Now the next question. Write an advantage of minimizing food mile, carbon footprint and water footprint. So you have to write down an advantage of minimizing these things. Food mile. So by minimizing the food mile, my dear children, right, we can utilize more amount of energy sources, or else we can utilize the energy sources up to its maximum potential by minimizing the food mile, my dear children. And the other thing is that we can use less amount of resources, right? We can use less amount of resources to gain more profits or to gain more advantages. So we can write the answer. Minimize the usage of resources, right? Minimize the usage of resources. Next one, carbon footprint. It's very simple, my dear children. Reduce global warming. Then water footprint. Water is being preserved. Or else conserved. Right? Water is being conserved. So by reducing the food mile, we can minimize the usage of resources. By carbon footprint minimization, we can reduce the global warming. And by reduction of water footprint, we can conserve water. Okay. Next one. Name 3 natural disasters that could occur due to emission of greenhouse gases. 3 natural disasters that could occur due to emission of greenhouse gases. So you know that greenhouse gases is going to increase the global warming. So when increase in global warming, climatic changes will happen. So upon having climatic changes, my dear children, these kinds of natural disasters will occur. Droughts, flood, cyclones, right? Cyclones. So even we studied these things, right? We have studied these things in the previous grade regarding the natural disasters lesson, my dear children, right? So these are the things that can occur due to change of climatic patterns, okay? Droughts, floods, cyclones. And because of the flood, you know that sometimes landslides also can occur, right? Now the next question. Burning fossil fuel is not environment friendly. Explain about term providing 2 examples. Burning fossil fuel is not environment friendly. So you have to explain about term providing 2 examples. Number 1. Emit carbon dioxide gas. So it will emit carbon dioxide gas. So what is the specialty of carbon dioxide gas? It is a greenhouse gas, my dear children. So therefore what will happen? The global warming will increase, okay? As it is, So as it is a greenhouse gas, the global warming will increase. Right? Number 2, sometimes, especially these fossil fuel, contain sulfur. So upon burning sulfur, my dear children, sulfur dioxide gas will emit. Sulfur dioxide gas can cause acid rains. Okay? So therefore it is going to cause terrible consequences. Right? Acid rains are going to cause terrible consequences for the environment, like withering of rocks, destruction of aquatic life, and so on. Okay? So second one, emit sulfur dioxide gas. Right? Emit sulfur dioxide gas. As it is acidic, by mixing with rainwater, by mixing with rainwater, acid rains will occur. Right? So first and foremost thing is it is going to emit carbon dioxide gas. So it is a greenhouse gas, therefore the global warming will increase. Second one is it is going to emit sulfur dioxide gas. So as it is acidic, by mixing with rainwater, acid rains will occur. Okay? So this is why burning of fossil fuel is not environment friendly, my dear children. Okay? Right. Then the next one. Write 2 environment friendly energy sources that can be used to generate electricity. Okay. So we can write energy sources. Sun. Number 2, sea waves. Sun and sea waves. Okay, they are asking about energy sources, my dear children. So energy sources means things that provide us with energy. Okay, so sun and sea waves. Next one, write a drawback of using above energy sources. Drawback, that means a disadvantage. So number 1, sun. We can write not always available. Not always available. Number 2, sea waves. High cost. Actually, in order to generate electricity by using sea waves, my dear children, large amount of cost is going to be we need large amount of money, or large amount of cost is going to be spent. It's mainly because we need to use advanced technologies in here, and for the technicians and for the scientists we have to pay a huge amount of money, and for not only for that but also for the instruments and also for the other types of materials, right? We have to provide different kinds of materials for the scientists and for the technicians to build up certain instruments. So therefore, this will the cost of creating a certain powerhouse which is going to operate from sea waves is going to be very costly. Okay, right. Next one. Even though it is environment friendly to use electric vehicles, for some countries it could be opposite. Explain. So can you remember, my dear children, I have explained this thing when I was discussing about the burning process of fossil fuel and when using electric vehicles, when we are discussing about usage of electric vehicles. So if a country is generating electricity by using fossil fuel or by burning fuel, and if there are no any charging stations countrywide that use renewable energy, that means, my dear children, these vehicles should be recharged by burning fossil fuel. So therefore, it can be somewhat disadvantage. It can be a disadvantage for the country. Okay, so we can write the answer. If a country use fossil fuel right? If a country use fossil fuel to generate electricity, if a country use fossil fuel to generate electricity, and if there are no any charging, if there are no any charging stations that use, if there are no any charging stations that use renewable energy, then it is a disadvantage to recharge these vehicles. Right. So if a country use fossil fuel to generate electricity, and if there are no any charging stations that use renewable energy, then it is a disadvantage to recharge these vehicles, because, my dear children, we are using fossil fuel to generate electricity. Okay, because fossil fuel is used to generate electricity. Right. So, my dear children, even though it is environment friendly to use electric vehicles, for some countries it could be opposite. Mainly because even though it is an electric vehicle, if a country is going to use fossil fuel to generate electricity, and if there are no any charging stations, so we have to think about the charging stations as well. So if there are no any charging stations that use renewable energy, then it is a disadvantage to recharge these vehicles because fossil fuel is used to generate electricity, right? So this is the disadvantage, my dear children. Okay. So first and foremost thing is to implement several charging stations that use renewable energy. Then after we can promote the usage of electric vehicles. That's the way of promoting the green concept. Okay. Otherwise, if you promote the usage of electric vehicles upon fossil fuel vehicles, what will happen? Now large amount of fossil fuel is getting wasted because to generate electricity, more amount of fossil fuel is needed. So driving a fossil fuel vehicle is even more cheaper than that. Okay. Right then, the next one. Match A column with B regarding parts of a tank and users. So you have to match these two then, the two columns. Okay, A column with the B column. So these are regarding users and the parts of a tank. Take water out with less pressure level. So in a tank, my dear children, water is taken out at a low pressure level by using the part called Bezout couture. Bezout couture. So Bezout couture is the part which helps to take water out with a less pressure level. Next one. Maintain the stability of the tank. So this is very simple, my dear children. To maintain the stability of the tank bund is the one which is used. Okay. Next one. Stops the erosion of the tank bund. So it is going to stop the erosion of the tank bund. So Ralapanava is the structure which is made to stop the erosion of the tank bund. It's like a staircase like structure. So water will come and hit on it so that the soil is not getting eroded. Next one. Act as the water catchment area. So this is very simple, my dear children. Water catchment area, it is the head wall. Then final one. Avoids collecting water with eroded mud. Isvati or brink is the answer, the remaining one. Right. So take water out with less pressure level, Bezout couture. Maintain the stability of the tank bund. Stops the erosion of the tank bund, Ralapanava. Act as the water catchment area, head wall or the Vavismatta. Then avoids collecting water with eroded mud, brink or the Isvati. Right. So these are the parts of a tank with respected users, my dear children. So with that question, we have finished several essay type questions regarding the artificial environment and the green concept lesson, my dear children. So we have came to the end of our lesson. So on a different day, on another day, we'll discuss another lesson part related to the grade 9 science syllabus. Until then, it's time to say goodbye.
To watch these important lessons, subscribe to DP Education's YouTube channel right now. Click on the bell icon to stay updated on the latest lessons. Sri Lanka's largest free online school, DP Education.